Hey guys, how's everyone doing? You guys are now experienced PSLE candidates, right? Having gone through, okay? At least 2 papers this week. How many of you are feeling good that it's halfway through? Put up your hand, say thumbs up. You can say yay, hey, yeah. The stress is going to be over soon, and hopefully, I'll make the science paper stress go away as well, so you don't have to worry about science. Then we only have to worry a little bit about mother tongue, where all of you are really afraid. Okay, it's all of us find it very tough to do Chinese, Malay, or Tamil, whatever mother tongue you're doing. Some of you are not even doing these three. Could be Hindi, Punjabi, so many mother tongues. Okay, so the final paper is the mother tongue, right? But before that, we need to get the science out of the way. Hopefully, you are feeling good. How many of you want to share? I'm sure you want to like hear your friends talk about the paper, and like those confident ones, like you really want to share and you don't mind everybody hearing what you want to say about how you felt during English and math paper the last 2 days. Who on? Raymond wants to talk. Okay, everybody just message me or put your hands up. It's difficult to see. You can just message me, say me. Okay, Raymond said me so many times, so hopefully his mic is all really good. Raymond, you can speak now.
The paper is quite good. Is kind of like easy and hard.
Easy and hard. Yeah, that's the normal. That's normal, right?
Yeah.
Every exam, yeah, that's normal. Yeah.
Can
You have,
manage.
yeah, you have easy parts and you have difficult parts, but nothing
Yeah.
to be scared of, right? At the end of the day, everything that comes out is something that you have practiced all your life in primary school, right?
Yes.
You are ready to move on from primary school to secondary school. So it's just a final step, final exam. I mean, you've been doing primary 4, primary 5, then primary 6 so much. And this year, of course, you're the unique batch to be affected by circuit breaker, and then we give you some exemptions on the topics and all that. Okay, so yes, thanks Raymond for participating. Anybody else want to say something? Like, see, Raymond very confident. He's like, come on man, bring PSLE on. Yeah. And then after today, of course, my job is to make science also like it's a breeze, right? We want to go into science also feeling confident, and really after 1.5 hours we are done, right? We go in morning 9 o'clock, 10:30 over, go home. Yay, one more paper left, and then that's it. Time to celebrate. I miss my school days, man. Exam time would be like after exam, can go and watch movie, can go eat popcorn, can do anything you want. Your parents are going to like really reward you. So, but to reward you, next 3 days you got to really work hard. So that's why y'all are here. Very happy to see you here, all the regular faces. Of course, if we had this last week, you will have been somebody who never tasted PSLE before. But this week, you know, okay, what to expect. The whole procedure, sit down, look at the clock, teacher tells you time's up, blah, 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 you already experienced. So science paper, no problem, right? So what are we going to cover today? Okay, as we move along, like I said, if you feel warm up ready, you want to participate, you just tell me, can I say something? You just come in and talk. The more we hear people talk, the more confident we get, right? And then next year, Sec 1, as we grow older, we see more topics in science. I will still be teaching you science till Sec 4 if you decide to stay on with 88 tuition. And then, well, we will know whether 88 tuition helped you score good grades in PSLE or not in like a month's time, right? Great. Okay, thumbs up ready. I got thumbs up from all of you. Ready to start. Okay, the first slide all of you can see is called the PSLE Science D Advice. Okay, some of you may have come to my previous tips and tricks lesson, which was conducted nearly 2 months ago when we did mock 1. Okay, then we had tips and tricks straight away. So if you have not attended that, right, no problem. Okay, it's always recorded and put onto our website, right? So you can go and have a look, especially this weekend. Why? Because this weekend you don't have to worry about English, you don't have to worry about math. You only need to worry about science and mother tongue. So only 2 subjects. You spend all your effort, and you can go and review. Go back to 88tuition.com, go to the live classes, review on the tips and tricks done in the first session. And then this is like part 2. So if you forgot part 1, just go and refresh yourself. What is part 2? So let's do part 2. Of course, I will also tell you what we did in part 1 a little bit. Okay, so let's look at the slide. All of you can see the change in the slide, right? Okay, so this is a quick refresher on why we are actually doing the exam and what do the examiners or Ministry of Education or the examination board require from us In order for us to do well, we need to know what they need from us. For example, how many of you do taekwondo or martial arts? Or karate, any martial arts, or you know some knowledge. You go for the test, right? You go for the grading test to get a new belt. What happens is you need to know the moves, right? You need to know the sequence, they call it. So if you don't know the sequence, how are you going to be graded? So you need to be prepared for the sequence. So you need to know what is going to be required of you, how they grade you, and so on. Similar to here also, paper science, you need to know what do they require. Do they require you to memorize? Do they require you to understand? Do they require you to apply? By now, you know all the answers to these questions. Okay, so my job here is just to refresh, remind you that, hey, don't be scared. No need to memorize a lot. You already know all the knowledge, just apply. Questions are all seen before, okay, be it assessment books or past year papers, okay. So these are the objectives that laid out on the syllabus by the examination board, telling the students, hey, these are the things that we are going to test you in the PSLE, be prepared. So let's go through this. Many of us don't even see through, our teachers don't have time in school to show you, but this is available on the MOE website. So I thought, let's spend 2 minutes to quickly go through it, okay? Number one, knowledge with understanding. Students should be able to demonstrate understanding. That's why it's no memorize. They never ever say students should be able to memorize something, never. So you don't have to memorize, okay? You should be able to understand certain little things. Yes, you need to memorize, like what? Maybe what are the magnetic materials? That one need to memorize. Even that, your science teachers and I have gone through many ways of you to how to remember. So maybe the word is not memorize, but remember. Because memorize is maybe you take up the book, you memorize the whole paragraph, you write the whole paragraph. That's memorize. But to remember something, what are the magnetic materials? How many are there? How many of you can say the 4 magnetic materials straight away? By now, you should know. Come on, just say it to yourself. Then I will say it, and then you can, let's see whether we match or not. Okay? Steel, iron, nickel. Last one starts with C. Copper or cobalt? This one a lot of students are confused. So it's not copper, but cobalt, remember. So the coming week, if they ever ask you magnetic materials, make sure you remember the word cobalt and not copper. And you've gone through many ways how to remember the cobalt, because I use the mnemonics called the singer is now, no, so cobbler is now singer. So because cobbler is there, cobbler stands for cobalt. If you say cop is now singer, then you say copper. So we don't want you to remember copper, but cobbler. Okay. So that's memorizing and remembering. So we don't need to memorize, you need to remember, right? And when you remember, you apply this knowledge. So because questions will come in a format where you have never seen before, some new experiment shown, but the concept that you need to know is still the same. You're going to have forces, you're going to have magnetism, you're going to have friction, you're going to have, what else do you know? Water, you're going to have evaporation, the same thing. Just need to know how to apply to that particular question. Just write down what you remember you've been writing all along. Make sure you write the right scientific principles, concepts, and apply to new situations. Can you see? It's new situations. Next, interpret information. They may give you a new graph, a new table. Okay, we'll be going through this later. They'll give you a new graph, new table. You need to be able to interpret, okay, include pictures, include graph, include tables, everything. Investigate using a combination of the following processes. Okay, this is the last. Okay, after this, we can go straight into the real interesting part. Okay, you need to know all these are inferring, evaluating, communicating. These are just names, but I know you guys are already familiar with this, like how to communicate, how to evaluate, how to infer. It's just ways of playing with the data shown on the question. Basically, you have the paper, look at it. Is your brain able to process the information analytically, evaluating, inferring, finding out what topic it is, what question are they asking me? If your brain is able to do that, then your hand is able to write the answer that your brain is telling you to. So you need to do all this basically. Clear? Okay, that was just one page and done. Format of the paper, very familiar also, you guys know. But like I said, before you go for your grading, which is your taekwondo, karate, you need to know what you are going in for. No more English, no more math. Throw away those formats. This format is different. There's no paper 1, paper 2. You straight away sit. You got booklet A, booklet B put on your table. You're given 1.5 hour, 1 hour, 45 minutes. You know the new timing now, different from maths again. What do you do with this 1 hour, 40 minutes, right? 45 minutes. Okay. So how many of you think you should spend 1 hour on MCQ? Say me on the chat. 1 hour on MCQ. or you should spend 45 minutes. You can type like, oh, 1 hour, or you can type 45 minutes. Now we're on booklet A, yeah? MCQ. How much time do you spend? Everybody tell me. Each person is different, but I want you to ask yourself, okay? Different people will, okay, like Karen said 45 minutes. Esther said 30 to 40 minutes. Arya Kalula says 1 hour. 1 hour? Is it 1 hour? She's not sure. She put question mark. Kai Ting says, Raymond says 40. You see, everybody is saying different. So what is the suggested time? I'm sure your teacher already told you. Okay, suggested, okay? You can see right at the bottom of the paper, my slide, right? It says 1 hour, 45 minutes. The 1 hour is bigger number. You spend it on the booklet B, the bigger paper, the paper that doesn't have MCQ. Bigger meaning open-ended. I don't know the answers, no choices, nothing. I have to write my own. So that you spend a bit more time, 1 hour at least. Okay. MCQ, how many questions are there? 28. Per question, if it's 28 times 1 minute, is like 28 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe give or take plus 5 minutes, 35 minutes. Some of you say 40 minutes. Okay, very good. So this section is where the 45 minutes goes in. So try to do as fast as possible. Go through the questions. Easy one, just answer. You get the answer A, put down. Or 1, put down the answer. Okay, many of you have different strategies to answer MCQ. Some of you put all the answers on your question paper first, then you shade, or you shade straight away. I'm not going to tell you how you do it. You do it whatever way you want, but make sure you translate the exact same thing onto the paper. Don't mismatch, okay? The better way is always mark on the question paper. Don't be afraid to color the question paper, do scratching, do all kind of vandalism to the paper, okay? All your notes must be on the paper, okay? Whatever calculation, scratching, you put cross, okay, B and C is out, okay, cross, cross, cross. Only A and D is in, okay. Make sure it's untidy as possible. Then only you're doing a lot of work. Then you circle the right answer, and then you can maybe shade everything at the end. I think shade everything at the end works for me, but I don't know about you guys, okay? Now, how do you progress through the question? Okay, question 1, question 2, usually very easy. Question 3, by the time you come to question 10, is a bit difficult, right? Okay, you don't know how to do, or you are stuck. Okay, immediately put a circle on the question 10, big circle, or take a highlighter, highlight on the question number part, the 10 part. Just circle it and keep moving. That means that question you haven't know the answer yet. So go do number 11, number 12, number 13. Oh, 13 cannot do. Big circle again. Go on 14, 15. Go through all the 28 questions. By now, by the time the time is showing 25 minutes, you already answered the whole paper actually. Then you still have another 10 minutes. Okay, go back to those circle questions. Try your best. Try your best. Give it one answer. And then if you're still not sure, you say, hey, this one I want to come back later and check. So you put a question mark. Okay, earlier you circle, now you put a question mark. So put whatever you like. You want a circle, you want a square, you want a star, you want a question mark, just mark it. Because later when you go through, right, in the time constraint, in the pressure, in like a bit of nervousness, you may need all these markers to help you. So you see, wow, what is this question mark? Immediately you don't need to go through the question again. You just see your marker and you go to that question. So I will expect about 3 to 4 questions that are going to be difficult, and you're going to leave it to the end. Even if you want to come back after the whole section B is done, fine as well. Okay, these are the tips and tricks. A little bit more than just going through the water evaporation. I'm just telling you what to do in the exam situation. You can remember these things. Okay, I'm sure you already know for math you did this, right? Bern has also talked about it a lot. Okay, so I think you guys are quite experts at knowing how to leave it and coming back to the end. Why do we do that? Because we need to secure the marks that we want to have. 28 MCQ. How many marks do you want to get out of 28? Correct. 28 times 2 marks. Okay, when you go to secondary school, no more times 2 marks. We are very kind to you already. MCQ will give you 2 marks each. That means you just one simple question, so wow, pop, 2 marks. Then you hit the jackpot, you get 2 marks. It's like arcade game, you know. And then you 2, you times 28 is 56. You already passed that science paper. Haven't even start section B, booklet B, you already passed. So isn't it good that you get all the MCQ correct? How many of you want to get all the MCQ correct? Because there's no left or right. There's no thing like you go to the teacher and say, teacher, why this mark you don't give me? I thought I got this wrong. That one only booklet B, right? Booklet B, you not sure why the teacher mark you wrong. But in booklet A, can she mark you wrong if you're right? Can't, right? B means B, A means A. So you must get it right. If you are really aiming for the A star, right, I think you should just say, I want to get all correct. Because MCQ is not that tough if you have done enough practice. So this weekend, right, just practice some more MCQ in your assessment book. I know how many of you have this assessment book stacked up in your shelf that you still haven't touched. Those you haven't touched, go and do again. Those topics that you are not sure of, do some more. Okay, so identify 3 topics that you're weak in and go and do a lot of MCQ on that. Okay, maybe not the section B, just do MCQ. That will give you confidence and also build you towards 28 full marks. 28 times 2, 56. Yes, then you go to section B feeling very good already. Okay, section B or booklet B, you call it, you just go and try to answer to your best. You already know all the techniques, okay, CER and so on. Just answer to your best. You should come out of it without having any problem. Okay, you guys are very trained already. Singapore system train you like crazy. Okay, okay, very good. All the schools train us like crazy. All the teachers train us already. So it's your turn to perform. Okay, do your teachers proud, your class teachers, because at the end of the day, right, the PSLE results will be in your hands, not your teacher's hands. So it's your time to perform. And then hug your mother, father, and your teacher when you get your results. Okay, science, math, English, all of you do very well. Go secondary school. Can you imagine by the time you go secondary 1, 2, you already forgot your PSLE long ago already. Just like many of you forgot there was a primary 3 streaming or primary 3 was that gifted education and all that is in the past, right? You don't remember that. What is now, by the time you go sec 1, done. Okay. So you know how much time to spend, how to progress in the question in booklet A and B. All right. So let's jump straight into it. I presume you guys are experts, so we will just have a refresher session because tips and tricks 1, which is a recorded from the last time and is in the website, which you can go and view tonight, later after this, or tomorrow, Monday, whenever, is already recorded. So I just want to go through because some of you didn't attend. So you'll be like, what is covered in that? So I'll tell you what is covered in that. That's covering the open-ended. Today, I will focus on MCQ. I'm really going to focus on MCQ. I really want you to take this message that MCQ, I'm going to focus and get 56 marks. Not even 54. Huh? I don't even want you to lose one question. 56. Okay. There's no need for you to lose even 1 mark. Why? Why should you? Okay. What is the likely temperature? Okay. This kind of questions have been covered in, what do you call that? Tips and tricks 1. Okay. So this question is, these are the trick questions, okay? So usually heat and water evaporation, heat especially very tricky. When you encounter a heat and temperature question, just try to be aware, don't get tricked. Remember, some of you remember this guy I talked about, it's a joker guy. Joker comes and like tries to trick you and goes, I caught you this. Okay, you don't want to get tricked. You don't want to come out of the exam got tricked. Okay, so this is a trick question. So how do we answer this, right? So Peter plays a paper cup and metal cup, very similar to this is a PSLE question. The room temperature was 29. However, even though the room temperature is 29, the room is 29 all the time, there's no change. However, when you go and hold the metal cup and the paper cup, it feels cooler and warmer. So that is what they're going to test you on. They'll be like, okay, Sally came in and held the 2 cups in her hand, felt that the metal cup is cooler than the paper cup. What's going on? They're going to ask you, okay, what's going on? Even though the temperature is 29 degrees. So are both of them 29 degrees? That's the first thing. Many students, the word cooler tricks them already. They say, oh, so metal cup must have been lower temperature, maybe 28. Not really. Both of them are at 29, okay? So, you see question A? That's a trick here already. So what is the likely temperature of the paper cup, metal cup just before she held the cups in her hands? Though one was going to be cooler, it doesn't mean it's cooler in the temperature. It's cooler in terms of its heat because the heat is being transferred to your hand. The conductivity comes in, right? So you know, oh, heat, conductivity, so many concepts. How am I going to answer? First, you need to get past question A. This is giving you 1 mark already. You already have to identify that. Both of them are 29. Why I highlight in yellow? Because many students write 28, 27, 26. Are you one of those? Are you one of those who's going to write 26 here? You know why? They got tricked by the word cooler. Now, this is where you fix your concept, you say this is temperature, both temperature are the same. You feel cooler only when you touch it. That means something is happening only when you touch it. If you don't touch it, leave it there, there should be 29, 29. Only when you touch it. That's why they ask you this question very clearly before she held the cups in her hands. After she held this, there's going to be a heat transfer. Okay, the heat is going to transfer from the metal faster to your hand than the paper to your hand. That's why your hand immediately have heat transfer. Okay, which one is warmer, your hand or the cup? The cup is 29, your hand is not 29. This time you have to think where to where is heat transfer. Is it from the hand to the metal or the metal to the hand? It's always from hotter to the cooler, right? So your hand is hotter. Obviously, you have been taking temperature this whole 6 months, right? Always above 30, right? Anyone have temperature below 30? I don't think so, because it's above 35 even. It's above 36 even. Some 36, some 37, some 36, 36.3, 36.7, right? You know your body temperature is always there. So your body temperature is always at 35, 36, and your cup temperature is 29. Where is the heat going to transfer from? Where to where? Hand to cup or cup to hand? That's all you need to tell me. You can type for me now. If you are interested into typing, you can say, Cher is going to be hand to, where is the heat transfer? Hand to cup or cup to hand? Yeah, your hand is hotter in terms of more heat. So hand to cup. So that's why the heat leaves your hand faster in a better conductor like a metal cup. So your hand suddenly feels cool. So you are 35.6 temperature, now you're 35. So suddenly hand feels cool. That's why Sally's hand felt cool. Whereas when she touched the cup, it's not a good conductor. So it doesn't conduct the heat away from her hand as quickly. So these are the reasons waiting to be answered in the next part, which is part B, right?